The restaurant went silent when I slid the contract across the table. My mother's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. My father's eyes widened as he read the number at the bottom, $380,000, and my sister, the golden child who could do no wrong, looked like she'd been slapped. They'd skipped my promotion dinner because it wasn't important enough, but they sure showed up when they heard about this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. My name is Vanessa, and I'm 31 years old. I'm a senior project manager at a tech company in Seattle. I've worked in tech for 9 years, climbed the ladder one brutal rung at a time, and last month I got the promotion I'd been chasing for 3 years. Director of Operations, a title I'd earned through 60-hour weeks, missed vacations, and more all-nighters than I could count. I was proud, so proud that I wanted to celebrate with my family, my parents, my younger sister Meredith. I made a reservation at a nice restaurant downtown, sent everyone a calendar invite 3 weeks in advance. Promotion celebration dinner, Saturday, 7 p.m. I didn't expect what happened next. My sister Meredith is 28. She's a yoga instructor and wellness influencer with 40,000 Instagram followers. She posts videos of herself doing headstands on beaches and drinking green smoothies. My parents think she's amazing. She's also never had a real job, never paid rent, never supported herself. She lives in a condo my parents bought her, drives a car they lease for her, and somehow she's the successful one. Growing up, I was the responsible one, the one with good grades and realistic goals. Meredith was the creative one, the free spirit, the one who marched to the beat of her own drum. When I got into a good college, my parents said, "That's great, honey." When Meredith dropped out of community college to find herself, they said, "We're so proud of you for following your heart." When I got my first job out of college, they asked about my salary once and never brought it up again. When Meredith started her Instagram, they told everyone they knew. "Our daughter is an influencer." My mom would brag at parties. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just worked harder, proved myself more, kept climbing, and when I finally got the promotion I'd been killing myself for, I thought, maybe this time they'd see me, really see me. 3 days before the dinner, my mom called. "Vanessa, honey, I need to talk to you about Saturday," she said. My stomach immediately dropped. I knew that tone. "What about it?" I asked. "Well, something's come up for Meredith," she said. "She's got this really important meeting with a potential sponsor. It's a huge opportunity for her brand." I was silent. "So we're going to have to skip your dinner," she continued, "but we can reschedule, maybe next month." "My dinner is in 3 days," I said quietly. "I know, sweetie, but this is really important for Meredith. You understand, right?" I wanted to say no. I wanted to scream that my promotion was important too, that I'd worked for years for this, that for once, just once, I wanted them to prioritize me. But instead I said, "Sure, Mom, I understand." "You're the best," she said, relieved. "Meredith will be so grateful." And she hung up. I sat there holding my phone, feeling like I'd been punched in the chest. Again. I called my best friend Lauren that night. "They canceled," I said. "What?" she said. "The dinner's in 3 days. Meredith has a meeting." Lauren was quiet for a moment. "You're kidding." "I wish I was." "Vanessa, that's insane. You got promoted to director. That's a huge deal." Apparently not as huge as a sponsorship meeting for protein powder or whatever the hell Meredith's shilling this week. Lauren sighed. "What are you going to do?" "What can I do?" I said. "They made their choice." "You could tell them how you really feel." I laughed bitterly. "And say what? That I'm hurt they've never cared about my career? That I'm tired of being second place to Meredith?" "Yes," Lauren said. "Exactly that." But I didn't. Because I never did. The day of the dinner, I almost canceled the reservation, but something stopped me. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was spite, but I decided to go anyway. I invited my coworkers instead, 6 people from my team who'd actually been there for me through the grind, who'd celebrated my wins and supported me through the losses. We had an amazing time. We ordered expensive wine, laughed too loud, and toasted to the future. For a few hours, I forgot about my parents. I forgot about Meredith. I just enjoyed the moment until my phone buzzed. A text from Meredith, a photo of her at a trendy coffee shop with some guy in a backwards hat. Caption, meeting with the best brand partner ever, dreams coming true. I stared at the photo. That was the meeting, a coffee shop hangout. That's what my parents had skipped my dinner for. I excused myself and went to the bathroom, and I cried for 10 minutes straight. When I got home that night, drunk on wine and anger, I did something I'd never done before. I opened my laptop and started a spreadsheet, a detailed accounting of every major life event over the past 10 years, and whether my parents had shown up. My college graduation. They came but left early to help Meredith move into her first apartment. My first promotion. They said they'd take me to dinner, then canceled because Meredith had a really bad breakup. My 30th birthday, they were at a wellness retreat with Meredith in Costa Rica. My emergency appendectomy 2 years ago. My mom visited once. Stayed 20 minutes. Had to leave because Meredith needed help with the photo shoot. The spreadsheet grew 15 major events. They'd missed or cut short 12 of them, all for Meredith. I stared at the screen until my eyes burned, and something inside me shifted. 2 weeks after my promotion, I was approached by a recruiter. A major tech company wanted to talk to me about a VP role, Vice President of Global Operations. I almost said no, I'd just gotten promoted. I was comfortable where I was. But then I thought about my parents and about the dinner they'd skipped, about every dismissive comment every time they'd minimized my achievements. And I said yes to the interview. The process was intense, but I crushed it. And 3 days ago, I got the offer. VP of Global Operations, base salary, $220,000. Signing bonus, $80,000. Stock options valued at $80,000. Total first-year compensation, $380. I stared at the offer letter for an hour. This was life-changing money. Money that would set me up for the rest of my life. Money that proved every sacrifice had been worth it. And I knew exactly what I was going to do with it. I could have just accepted the offer and moved on. Started my new job, enjoyed my success, and let my parents stay in their bubble. But I didn't want to, because this wasn't just about the money. It was about respect, recognition, proof that I mattered. And I wanted them to see it. I wanted them to know exactly what they'd been ignoring all these years. I wanted them to feel just for a moment the weight of what they'd dismissed. So I planned something calculated, something that would force them to acknowledge me. I called my mom. "Hey, Mom," I said casually. "I wanted to let you know I got some career news." "Oh," she said, distracted. I could hear Meredith talking in the background. "Yeah, I got a job offer. Pretty big deal." "That's nice, honey," she said. "Are you going to take it?" "I'm thinking about it," I said. I wanted to celebrate with the family before I make my final decision. "Maybe dinner this weekend?" "This weekend." She hesitated. "Let me check with your father." I waited. "We can do Sunday," she said. "But we might have to leave early. Meredith has a thing." "Of course she does." "Sunday works," I said. "I'll make a reservation, somewhere nice." "Okay, sweetie, see you then." She had no idea what was coming. I made a reservation at one of the best steakhouses in Seattle, the kind of place where entrees start at $60, the kind of place my parents had taken Meredith for her birthday, but never me. I printed out my offer letter, all 5 pages, including the compensation breakdown on page 3. And I brought it with me in a leather portfolio, but I also sent something, a group text to my parents and Meredith, just a simple message. "Really looking forward to Sunday. Please don't cancel. This is important." My mom replied, "Of course, honey, we'll be there." Meredith replied, my dad didn't reply at all. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept rehearsing what I'd say, how I'd present the contract, what I'd do if they tried to minimize it. Part of me wondered if I was being petty, but the other part, the part that had been overlooked for 31 years, didn't care. Saturday morning, the day before the dinner, Meredith called me. That was unusual. We barely talked unless forced to at family events. "Hey," she said, "what's this dinner about tomorrow?" "I told you. Career news." "Yeah, but what kind of career news? Another promotion?" I paused. Something in her voice sounded off. Worried, almost. "Why do you care?" I asked. "I don't," she said quickly. I'm just curious. Mom's been weird about it. Weird how? I don't know. She keeps saying she hopes you're not moving or something. Interesting. So my mom was already anxious. Good. You'll find out tomorrow, I said. Vanessa, I hung up. That afternoon, I got a Facebook notification. My mom had posted a throwback photo. It was from my high school graduation, me in my cap and gown, standing between my parents. Caption, so proud of my girls, both so accomplished in their own ways. I stared at the post. She'd never posted about my achievements before, not once. But now, the day before our dinner, suddenly she's proud? The comments rolled in. Distant relatives, beautiful family. My mom's friend, you raised them so well. I wanted to comment, proud enough to skip my promotion dinner? But I didn't. I just screenshotted it and added it to a folder on my phone labeled Evidence. Sunday arrived. I got to the restaurant first, ordered a bottle of wine, waited. My parents arrived 15 minutes late. Meredith was with them this time. That surprised me. Meredith, I said, I thought you had a thing? I canceled it, she said, not meeting my eyes. My mom looked nervous. We wanted the whole family here. Now I was suspicious. They never all showed up for me. What had changed? We sat down. The conversation was stilted. My mom kept glancing at me like I was about to detonate a bomb. My dad buried himself in the menu. And Meredith looked genuinely uncomfortable. So, my mom said finally, this job offer. Let's order first, I said. But my mom wouldn't let it go. Vanessa, honey, you're not moving away, are you? Because we've been talking and we really want to be more present in your life. I almost laughed. More present. Now, after I'd mentioned a big job offer, not after my promotion. Not after any of the other achievements they'd ignored. Only when they suspected I might be leaving. Why the sudden interest? I asked. My mom looked flustered. What do you mean? I mean, you skipped my promotion dinner 3 weeks ago, but now you're all here worried I might move. Why? Silence. Meredith shifted uncomfortably. My dad cleared his throat, and my mom's eyes filled with tears. We know we messed up, she said quietly. Missing your dinner. We realized after that it was wrong, and we don't want to lose you. Too little, too late, but I didn't say that, not yet. The waiter came and took our orders. The tension at the table was suffocating. My dad tried to make small talk about the weather. My mom kept dabbing her eyes with her napkin. And Meredith sat there, picking at her bread, looking like she wanted to disappear. Finally, after our entrees arrived, my dad said, So this job offer, what company? I named it. His eyebrows shot up. That's one of the biggest tech companies in the world. I know, I said. What's the position? He asked. VP of Global Operations, I said. My mom's fork clattered onto her plate. Vice President? She whispered. I nodded. Vanessa, that's incredible, my dad said, and for the first time he sounded genuinely impressed. It is, I said, but I wanted you to see the full offer before I made my decision. And I pulled out the portfolio, but before I could slide it across, Meredith spoke up. Wait, she said. Before you show them, I need to say something. Everyone turned to look at her. I'm the reason they skipped your dinner, she said, her voice shaking. I told them my meeting was a huge deal. I made it sound more important than it was. And I'm sorry. I stared at her. This was unexpected. I've been jealous of you my whole life, she continued. You're smart, successful, independent. And I'm not. I've been living off mom and dad pretending I have this amazing career, but it's all fake. The followers, the sponsorships, all of it. I make maybe $15,000 a year. My parents looked shocked. I didn't want them at your dinner because I knew they'd compare us, Meredith said. And I knew I'd lose, so I lied. I made my meeting sound important so they'd choose me over you, like they always do. Her voice broke. And I hate myself for it, she whispered. Because you deserved that night. You've always deserved more than I got. For the first time in my life, I saw my sister as she really was. Not the golden child, not the favorite, just insecure, lost, and drowning in the role our parents had created for her. So I'm sorry, she said. For all of it, you deserved better, and I'm going to do better. The table was silent. I slid the offer letter across the table. My parents both leaned in to read it. I watched their faces. My mom's eyes scanned the first page, then the second, then she stopped on page 3. The compensation page. Her wine glass froze halfway to her lips. My dad's eyes widened. $380,000? My mom whispered. I nodded. First year total comp, I said. Base salary, signing bonus, and stock options. My dad stared at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Vanessa, I had no idea you were at this level. You never asked, I said. The table went quiet. You know what's funny? I said, my voice even. I invited you to a dinner to celebrate my promotion to director, a promotion I'd worked 3 years for. And you canceled because Meredith had a meeting at a coffee shop. My mom's face flushed. Vanessa, let me finish, I said. I pulled out my phone and opened the spreadsheet. Over the past 10 years, there have been 15 major events in my life, I said. Graduations, promotions, birthdays, medical emergencies. You missed or cut short 12 of them, all for Meredith. I turned my phone so they could see. The dates, the events, the notes about why they'd left or canceled. I documented everything, I said, because I needed to know if I was crazy, if I was overreacting, and it turns out I wasn't. My dad looked devastated. My mom was crying openly now, and Meredith had her face in her hands. I didn't show you this offer to brag, I said. I showed you so you'd understand what you've been dismissing all these years, who I am, what I'm capable of, what I've accomplished despite being treated like an afterthought. I paused. The job is in San Francisco, I said. I start in 6 weeks. My mom's head snapped up. San Francisco? She whispered. Yes, but that's so far. It's a 2-hour flight, I said. The same distance as the effort you've put into seeing me. The words hit like a slap. My dad reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out an envelope. Before you say anything else, he said, his voice thick, I need to give you this. He slid it across the table. I opened it. Inside was a check, made out to me, for $50,000. What is this? I asked. It's what we should have given you years ago, my dad said. We've been thinking about what we've done, about how we funded Meredith's life while you've been doing everything on your own, and it's not fair. This is the money we would have spent on your wedding if you'd gotten married, my mom added, or on helping you buy a house, or on anything you needed but you never asked, so we never offered. And that was wrong, my dad continued. We took your independence for granted. We assumed you didn't need us, but you did. You needed us to show up, to care, to see you. I looked at the check. $50,000, it was substantial, but it didn't erase anything. I don't want your money, I said quietly. My dad looked confused. Vanessa, I never wanted your money, I said. I wanted your time, your attention, your pride in me without having to prove myself with a number on a page. I slid the check back across the table. Keep it, I said, or give it to Meredith. I don't need it. I never did. What I needed was for you to show up, and you didn't. My mom reached across the table and grabbed my hand. Please don't take the job, she said desperately. Please don't move to San Francisco. We'll do better. I swear we'll do better. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I saw something I hadn't seen before. Fear. Real fear that she was losing me. I'm taking the job, I said. Not because I'm running away, but because it's the right move for my career, and because I need distance to figure out if we can actually repair this. But San Francisco is so far, she whispered. It's a 2-hour flight, I said. You can visit. I can visit if we actually make the effort. We will, my dad said firmly, whatever it takes. I pulled my hand back gently. I need to see it, I said, not just hear it. I need you to show up consistently, not just when you think I'm leaving, not just when you're scared, actually show up. We will, my mom said, tears streaming down her face. I promise. I wanted to believe her, but I'd heard promises before. Over the next 6 weeks, my parents tried. They called me twice a week. They helped me pack. They asked about my new job, my apartment search, my plans. But there were slip-ups. Small ones. My mom mentioned Meredith's new job 3 times in one conversation before catching herself. My dad compared my move to when Meredith found herself in Bali, then quickly apologized. Old habits don't die quietly, they die kicking and screaming, but they were trying, and that was something. 3 weeks before my move, Meredith showed up at my apartment, unannounced. She had an envelope in her hand. "I wrote you a letter," she said. "I've been in therapy, trying to figure out why I am the way I am, and I wanted you to have this." She handed me the envelope and left before I could say anything. I opened it that night. The letter was 5 pages long, handwritten, raw. She talked about growing up in my shadow, about how our parents' constant attention felt like pressure, not love, about how she'd built her entire identity around being the special one because she had nothing else. "I know I hurt you," she wrote, "and I know saying sorry doesn't fix it, but I want you to know that I'm trying to become someone you'd actually want as a sister. Not the golden child, not the favorite, just me, whoever that is." I cried reading it, not because it fixed everything, but because it was real. 2 weeks before my move, my mom started therapy. She told me over the phone, "I need to understand why I did what I did," she said, "why I favored Meredith, why I took you for granted, why I made you feel invisible." "I'm proud of you for going," I said. "I should have gone years ago," she said quietly, "before I damaged you, before I damaged us." There was a long pause. "Do you think you'll ever forgive me?" she asked. I thought about it. "I don't know," I said honestly, "but I'm willing to try, if things actually change." "They will," she said. "I promise." And this time, I almost believed her. The day I left for San Francisco, my whole family came to see me off. My parents brought coffee and bagels. Meredith brought a plant for my new apartment. "So you don't feel alone," she said. We stood in my empty apartment, surrounded by boxes, and for the first time in years, it felt like a family, not perfect, but real. "I'm proud of you," my dad said, hugging me tight. "I should have said that a long time ago, every single time you accomplished something, and I'm sorry I didn't." "I'm sorry," my mom whispered, holding me close. "For everything. For all the times I didn't see you. For all the times I chose wrong. For making you feel like you didn't matter when you've always mattered so much." I hugged them back, and I meant it. Meredith hugged me last. "I'm going to be better," she whispered. "I promise." "I know," I said, and I did. 3 months later, I'm settled in San Francisco. The job is everything I hoped for: challenging, rewarding, exhausting in the best way. My parents visited last month. They stayed for a whole weekend. We went to restaurants, explored the city, talked about real things, and my mom only mentioned Meredith once, then caught herself, apologized, and asked me more about my work instead. Progress. Last week, my dad sent me something in the mail, a framed photo from that dinner, the one where I showed them the contract. But it wasn't the photo I expected. It was a candid shot someone had taken of me at my actual promotion dinner, the one they'd skipped, the one I'd celebrated with my coworkers. I was laughing in the photo, genuinely happy, surrounded by people who'd shown up for me. There was a note on the back. "We should have been there. We'll never stop regretting that we weren't, but we're grateful you found people who were, and we're here now. We love you, we're proud of you, and we'll keep showing up." Mom and Dad. I hung it in my office, right next to my offer letter, right next to the plant Meredith gave me, because it's not about the $380,000. It's not about the title. It's not even about the vindication. It's about knowing my worth, with or without their validation, and understanding that sometimes the people who hurt you the most can actually change if they're willing to do the work. My parents are doing the work. Meredith is doing the work. And so am I. We're not fixed. We're not perfect, but we're trying, and that's worth more than any contract could ever be.